All right, welcome back to the Living Limitless podcast. This is episode number 5. We have a guest today, Mr. Wally. Or, some groaning grunts. Or Alex Wallace.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is my first ever podcast, so I'm gonna see how it goes.
Just bullshitting like we always do.
Yeah, that's true.
We're going to do things a little bit different today. I'm going to talk about a hot topic. The curious case of Luigi Mangione. All right. Akko Taco. Thanks for filling in, guys.
Very curious case. Interesting case.
Yeah. I guess we kind of just decided to do this because it's all over social media. I mean, anywhere you look on the news. Seem to be a lot of theories or conspiracy theories or a lot of information flying around on it. I guess I don't know where we want to start necessarily, but
unmasking the suspect. Who is Luigi?
Well, Luigi Mangione is the suspected killer of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson to start. I guess to give a little backstory, I'm sure many watching or listening are aware. I guess, what was the date? December 2nd?
The killing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was December 2nd.
I believe so.
I believe it was December 2nd. But the CEO, Brian Thompson, was attending a conference in New York City, and he was gunned down outside of his hotel. So they didn't show the whole video of it, but basically when it first came out, all you saw was a man in a blue suit walking down the street in New York City. It looked like it was just about sun up. I think it was like 6:44 in the morning, and then you see a masked, hooded guy walk up behind Brian, and the picture that was released was obviously him aiming a gun at him, and that's where he shot him. And all that's been released is that he's shot him in the back of the leg, I believe the back of the left leg, and then I did see the whole video, so you see Brian stumble to the right against a building. Looks like he appears to fall over. Luigi, again, the suspected shooter, has a weapon, not a malfunction, but a jam, and goes through the clearing process, and then appears to shoot Brian again before he walks and then runs across the street.
Yes. I didn't see that video right away. I saw the cutoff to where the first gunshot was fired and then it cuts off.
Right.
It took me a while to see the rest of the video.
Yeah.
And I expected him to be shot right in the back based on how I perceived him aiming.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
It does.
And
but
yeah.
You see the rest of the video and you see him stumble, like you said, towards the right of the building, and then eventually gets on the ground where I think the fatal shot is fired. And you said the neck, correct?
Yeah, that's what I saw. Again, I also want to give a disclaimer. We're not experts. We're not theorists. We're not anything law enforcement. We're literally here just talking about what we've read or what we've seen. So
our perception.
Yeah, our perception.
Of
it. Just
things
straight
and
opinion.
Yeah, I think questions that maybe have popped into our head.
Yeah.
When it initially happened, and then maybe that knowing a little bit more, maybe where we stand after some information has been released. But
exactly.
Correction, it was December 4th. I just saw it.
Okay.
So I don't want to give any misinformation. But
see, that's perfect. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just talking about what we've read and seen.
But you said you have a military background.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you wanted to touch on it right away or if that comes later. But what you noticed, I guess, in the video right away with
Hold
with
on.
his he's got a lot to say about
Yeah, he does.
this topic. So, I guess if you, with your military background,
Yeah.
you have kind of noticed some things initially or right away of his handling the weapon, how he fires it, how he kind of pulls it out, so to speak,
Yep.
and fires and aims, and goes through the whole loading or reloading and process.
Yeah.
So, with your background, what are some things that you might have noticed?
Yeah, so one, I do have a military background. Combat arms related, so infantry. So handling multiple types of weapons, of course, and handguns being one of them. The first thing I noticed before, I think it was the day after it happened, I watched the video. They didn't know who the shooter was. They didn't know anything about him. They didn't. There was nothing, right? It was a mystery. The first thing I noticed when I saw him pull out, obviously the pistol or handgun or whatever you want to call it with the suppressor, was that he definitely has handled weapons before. And not only that, just given the environment, that's like something that a lot of people don't take into account. You're in New York City. Like, obviously there's a lot of witnesses, and you're basically carrying out an act or an intentional act to kill somebody, right? So one, before you even do that, your adrenaline's already pumping. So him walking up behind, pulling out the weapon, very fluid, him firing, and then immediately having a weapons jam, and then being able to clear it, the way in which he cleared it, it doesn't appear like he looks down at the weapon, for one, and he maintains a smooth walk, remains calm, doesn't fumble the weapon, doesn't stumble over his feet, doesn't even stop in his tracks like a lot of people would do, because they would go in panic mode with all those things considered.
Hesitate or whatever.
Yeah. He fluidly clears the jam, and then still moves towards his target, like smooth, calm, but I guess you could say somewhat fast. And then again, he fires again when he's on the ground, shoots him, what report says, in the neck, and then moves away.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It looked like a hit. Like, by somebody that's trained, for sure.
Yeah.
Everything about that video, it looks like somebody that's definitely trained.
Yeah.
That's, again, just my opinion, based off my experience.
And I think it was reported, too, that he was seen by witnesses kind of pacing outside, waiting.
Yeah.
So he was maybe just a little nervous in the beginning, kind of just waiting. But like you said, kind of once things kicked off, he seemed very calm, cool, and collected, so to speak.
So, like,
Trained.
definitely, like, trained, because there's a combat environment and a non-combat environment. So you train in a non-combat environment, so when you're in the situation in a combat environment, everything just is ingrained in you. It's second nature. And that's exactly what
like muscle memory.
Yeah, that's exactly what that looked like. It was very smooth. Very, very smooth.
And not having a background with firearms, with anything like that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought the same as well.
Yeah.
But like you said, the way he pulls it out, the way he aims it, very confident. Yeah, if I was in that situation.
That's what I was gonna say. If that was you in that situation, how do you think that would go?
I mean, I would probably have like the safety on first, so the first shot wouldn't even go off, and then I'd be freaking out of like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
But especially for like the jam, I wouldn't
know what to do.
Probably not, other than just to keep cocking and figuring it out. But like you said, in that situation,
he doesn't break stride.
He doesn't break stride. It's fluid. It's one motion.
He's not like panicky with it, like panicky or like fidgeting with it. It's very just smooth.
Yep.
Smooth.
And then I believe right before the last shot, he kind of knocks the back of the gun too.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Because
to handle the round forward.
To make sure that what is that called, I guess, so to speak, that fires back, or that you cock back?
The slide.
The slide. So like, he knew to do that to make sure that slide was all the way forward after the first jam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other people in law enforcement or with a military background that can speak to that too. I
Yeah.
haven't seen many people talk about that at all. I haven't searched for it either, but it's definitely evident when you watch it.
Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of people say that it looks or perceives like he's got background
Sure.
or experience with handguns or firearms or training.
Yeah.
I've seen some people talk about the recocking and reloading after the first jam and then the knocking of the back,
Yeah.
but not in depth of.
I would be curious if there's anybody out there who's like broken down the video and what that's actually like in real time.
Yeah.
Or can
the
show
whole-
people like
The whole thing happens in a matter of 15 seconds.
I'd say less than that.
Yeah.
I would say less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Easily less than 10 seconds.
And then he walks away and gets on his e-bike and rides off.
Right. Yeah. And we can go into, there's other parts of this that seem very odd. I guess we do have a little bit of a script, right? So I don't know the chronicle of events in total, even starting from like, why did he do it?
Right. I don't know if anyone really knows exactly why yet.
I don't think so either, but we can, I guess.
Speculate or assume
Yeah.
some things based off of what has come out since then
Yeah.
about his medical past as well as his mother's. I believe both have had medical issues.
Yeah. I didn't read too much about that. I guess I do want to backtrack. So he's from Maryland, isn't he?
I believe he's from Maryland and went to school, Ivy League school in Pennsylvania.
Okay. Because it said that he got on a bus in Atlanta and then went up to New York, stayed at that hostel where he flirted with the clerk or
yeah.
whatever you want to call
Front
it.
desk
So that's why he
associate or
pulled down his
whatever.
mask, or she said, I want to see your smile or something along those lines.
Interesting. Good for her.
Wow.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no kidding.
That helps. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have a
No clue.
no.
No. So he stayed at the hostel.
Shout out to the clerk.
You're well, do you know where that is?
I don't know exactly the
Background. Did you want to give a background?
the
on it?
block. I spent 4.5 years in New York City.
Yeah.
Lived in Brooklyn and then worked in downtown Manhattan, just above Times Square, 48th Street. So but I've been all over throughout the island and throughout Brooklyn and everywhere. So
Yeah, so
but I don't know exactly off the top of my head exactly where this hotel was located.
I guess I did see last week when I was reading that he stayed in a room with other people. He wasn't there by himself.
Really?
That's, again, if somebody wants to correct us on that, that'd be great. But based off of the reading I did last week,
Like a hostel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So to speak. I think I remember seeing that too.
But then he gets up in the morning, leaves the hotel with the backpack, obviously makes his way over toward the hotel where Brian Thompson was supposedly at the conference and staying at.
Mm-hmm.
I guess before the shooting, he went to the Starbucks across the street
Yeah.
and bought a Kind bar
Mhm.
and a water,
Water.
which they gathered as evidence
Yeah.
after the fact. And then there was another picture showing him outside the hotel before the shooting. I did see just a picture.
Mm.
And then from the Starbucks, I don't really know. Maybe that's when he moved across the street and then
Waited or just
Waited.
Yeah.
And then after shooting him and moving back across the street, found an e-bike, got onto a staged e-bike.
I don't think they found the e-bike. I think they're trying to track it back to him.
Okay.
But I don't know. They have like city bikes in New York
Yeah.
where you can kind of pay to ride.
Okay.
like by the minute or whatever.
Sure.
That didn't look like one to me.
Okay.
So to me, it was either one that he already had already, and just took off on.
And he moved towards Central Park where there's a limited amount of cameras.
Yep.
Hmm.
At night. Well, not necessarily at night. It was still in the morning.
Early morning.
Yeah.
Like 7 or 6, would that be 6:48 in the morning or whatever? 'Cause
Yeah,
I believe.
I was 6:40 shooting, right?
6:44
Or
is the
6:30?
time that comes to mind.
Still looked dark in the video,
Yeah.
which is why I said night. I was confused at first, but
Mm-hmm.
happened right away in the morning.
Yeah. And then moves into Central Park, ditches the backpack there, which they found. Don't know what happened to the e-bike. And then the last thing that you heard about that was that they were tracking him. He got onto a bus that was headed out of New York City.
Yeah.
They didn't release where it was going. And then it looked like or sounded like the trail ran cold a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then next, I guess, between there, they were running forensics and whatever. And then, I guess the timeline being, was it yesterday or the day before that they found him?
I believe it was the day before.
Which, that whole thing seems interesting to me. But spotted in a McDonald's.
Recognized in a McDonald's.
Recognized in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which to me it was a little,
Sus.
little,
sus.
yeah. I could see someone and think he looks like him, but I don't know if I would say that's definitely him,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, for
without
sure.
a shadow of a doubt.
For sure. I guess that's the chronicle of events, right? So, with that, the next one would be unmasking the suspect. Who is Luigi Mangione? His background, education, personal history, his family background is very interesting. That all is, given what he did and knowing or reading about his family, him and his family lineage is very interesting to me.
Well, you said right away, too, I think, that with his given name
Yep.
and Italian background, obviously the first.
I said before his name was ever even released that this was a mob hit.
Okay, yeah, we want to stay away from racial profiling.
All I said was mob hit.
Yeah, yeah.
The name aside, everything aside, I said that last week. That's what it looked like.
Absolutely. You look at the video and you think the same thing. It's a hit.
Oh.
Not necessarily a mob hit, but it's either someone who was hired or was planned or knew what he was doing, like you said.
Yep.
But
no racial profiling.
yeah, we're not
just
not
saying.
at all.
Just
But just so happened to be that his grandpa,
Nick Mangione Sr. is his name.
has some ties to
Supposed ties. There's articles
mob.
and people talking. Did you read his background a little bit?
a little bit. Yeah, very smart.
Yeah.
Obviously, valedictorian.
Yep.
Went to Ivy League, and I
Yep.
believe he studied engineering.
He was. Yes.
And then I knew he was very big into computers,
Yep.
and
He was a co-founder to a startup gaming.
yes,
company.
and coded, like learned coding
Yep.
himself, and coded and created a online app or a gaming app that was for paper airplanes to be flown through obstacles.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one.
I don't know what the app was called or game was called. I was trying to look that up too, but that's what he said. With his background, he self-coded or self-taught himself to code, and that he was able to create a gaming app where you fly paper airplanes through obstacles, kind of like Flappy Bird or something, so to speak,
Okay.
is what I would envision.
Yeah. So, I guess his family started. Well, we're jumping around a little bit, and that's kind of my fault. But going back to his grandpa. His grandpa was poor. He said that, I'm speaking Nick Mangione Sr.
Mhm.
There is snippets of quotes that he had. When he was 11 years old, his dad passed away, and then he basically said, like, when I was 11 years old, I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Like, I was that poor. As he got older, I believe he worked in construction, so contracting. And then I think he did that for a decade or two. And then he started investing his money into building nursing homes and buying property.
Golf courses.
Yeah, bought a golf course. All of those things. And then started generating wealth that way. I think they had, what did they have? 10 kids?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, I think he had 10 kids. And then, because it said he had 37 grandchildren too, and Luigi's one of them.
Jeez.
But they definitely generated, like, generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in the 90s, Nick Mangione passed it off to, like, a lot of that off to Luigi's dad, believe it or not. So that just gives you an idea. He was a self-made millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
But there's skepticism. Again, skepticism I can't verify or anything, but that there was some funding behind their wealth, that being the mob ties.
Sure. Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be a theory on that,
yeah.
given, like, what's at play. But their whole family sounds like they're successful, like Division I athletes. A lot of them, I guess, what school is in Maryland that I'm thinking of? There are a lot of Ivy League graduates. I believe 6 of the 10. I'm trying to think of the school.
Not University of Maryland, right?
No. I forget what the university was that they referenced, but I mean, they're all well-renowned. And
well, supposedly the school he went to was about $40,000 a year, I believe.
his high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
High school.
His high school.
Prep school.
Yep.
Or private, right?
Yeah. It has to be. It's interesting. I think his uncle is a Republican. I want to say something at the county level in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting.
It is interesting. But I don't know how, I was thinking about that today too when you brought that up, that not necessarily because you have successful relatives means that that comes back on you.
No,
You know,
definitely not.
like you could have a very successful uncle, but that doesn't make you financially successful. That doesn't mean you're successful. That doesn't mean you're well off, so to
Right.
speak.
I think obviously had a good foundation. It sounds like his parents were very driven and obviously pushed him to excel academically, and their whole family is academically and athletically inclined.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like. So being in that environment obviously helps.
Yeah.
So obviously good morals and values. Seems like was
Work
instilled in his
ethic and
family.
all that. You
Yeah.
need that for any level of sports, I believe.
Yeah.
And he did wrestling and cross country
I know wrestling.
and track.
I didn't hear the other ones, but maybe, very possible. Yeah. Given all that, it's, I guess, very interesting hearing his background. I guess to that, their family donated a ton of money to a hospital in Baltimore, like over $1 million, and it sounds like all of them were born there, and then they branched out and donated money to other hospitals and medical programs and things like that, which I find very ironic given
The circumstances.
the circumstances and the
Oh.
act that he supposedly committed.
Yeah. That's the thing too of we don't know why.
I saw a TikTok earlier that said that his mom was denied healthcare. She has some health condition.
She had some type of neuropathy or something where she had severe pain
Yeah.
throughout her body,
So that's where it's
where it started years ago when he was young.
And
and
then,
progressively got worse. But
changing the way that she needed to submit insurance or something like that. So it wasn't the doctors that were like holding her care up, it was the insurance companies.
mhm.
That might have been the sixth. I mean, not that money was an issue because I'm either, but like the $6,000 deductible that they supposedly had to meet.
Yeah.
It was in October, and then the doctor. This might be him again, but they met the $6,000 deductible, and then they either him or his mom was supposed to have a follow up, and since the doctor was on vacation to the following year, like it didn't matter that they met their deductible, so they had to restart it
Oh,
the year after
because the doctor's gone.
because the doctor was gone.
Yeah, but because the insurance took forever.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They kept delaying it, so to speak, and
Yeah.
yeah,
or extending, or
which is shitty.
absolutely frustrating.
Oh, for
Definitely
sure.
can understand that, having recent medical bills that I've had to pay. Look at the prices of
Yeah.
the everything that you get done, but
I got charged $1,000 going 2 minutes giving birth to her.
Oh,
And the ER or what the fuck? The ambulance.
Yeah, the ambulance.
oh,
It was a 2-minute ride, so we can relate. So
1,000 for a 2-minute ride.
$1,000 and 46. 1,046.
I guess watching this back, Savannah's over in the corner occupying Ronan. We got screwed
Yeah.
during
Well,
the
it's because they don't have my insurance on file, so I have to spend that.
yeah. So ultimately, insurance is a holdup. We had to get transferred from a birth center to a hospital that was literally 2 minutes away, and we were in the ambulance for definitely less than 5 minutes, and it was like $1,100 or something.
Yeah.
And had to take an ambulance.
Had to. Well, she couldn't. She had to be put on a stretcher.
True.
Yeah.
You gotta put her in the back of your
My
truck.
first time. I know.
Yeah. So we understand that. It's like, really?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta pay the driver, I'm sure, and whatever, and
We'll just,
gas.
That money would go to them.
we'll just call a fucking Uber next time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But
No. So I think we were talking a little bit about the family medical history. So you touched on the mom.
mhm.
I did see something on him too, that he was being denied claims
Hmm.
or was denied supposedly. So there was a separate video that I watched where I don't know if it was in July or earlier in the year, he had back surgery supposedly,
Mhm.
where supposedly he had plates and screws put in.
Yeah.
And then they said from like that point forward, he started like disassociating from family and friends and
Yep.
off to
Kind of went off grid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't answer phone calls, wouldn't answer text messages, was gone for almost 6 months. It sounded like no one really knew where he was at, what he was doing.
Yep.
Supposedly he was working at a True Car, but working remote, and I believe he was staying in Hawaii,
So I saw that he was taking trips to Mexico,
but working in San Francisco.
San Francisco, Hawaii. Those are the three that I heard.
hmm
And then people look back onto his ex Twitter profile or on X,
hmm
and there was multiple like tweets to him saying, one, like, if you're not gonna like come to the wedding, obviously I need to be
I need
aware
to
and
know.
make alternate plans.
Yeah.
And then two others reach out to him, basically saying like, hey, like, if you fall off the face of the earth,
Yeah. How you doing?
You good?
Yeah, exactly.
You good? You all
Just
right?
like just basic checkup.
Yep.
Wanted to make sure you're doing fine
Yeah. And
after the surgery, especially.
yeah, which I found very intriguing. Like, what from back surgery would have stemmed that? If that was the motive, who knows? Like, him being denied claims or having excruciating pain or whatever. Again, what I find weird about it is it a corporate America type thing?
Right.
Because his family obviously has money.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but at 26 years old, you're not making the money probably necessary to be living in Hawaii or San Francisco.
And where he was staying was $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not super expensive, but that's not cheap.
No, exactly. Like, and it looked like he was traveling all over, like, doing a lot of traveling.
A lot.
So, I mean, that costs money.
Yep.
So, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
It's got to be, like, definitely corporate America type stuff.
It's it said there's some ties of he's got some ill will towards corporate America. Where and when that came from
So, he was...
is what I'm not really understanding or probably don't have enough information on yet. But
Well, they're thinking he got a lot of his motivation from the Unabomber.
yeah,
Which is
his
some-
manifesto.
Yeah.
Yep.
And reading that, and it was enlightening, I guess, and that could be where the ill will came towards corporate America. I mean, I can't. This is all speculation.
I heard Gladiator as well.
Really,
Mm-hmm. There's some Gladiator ties.
that's interesting. That's very interesting. That's where his grievances. I don't know. I don't.
But with his condition, you said he had back surgery where he had screws put in.
Yeah.
And he had some type of issue where he had misaligned discs. So it was kind of, they assumed it was like a pinched nerve that
Okay.
was causing the pain once. So the surgery was to realign those discs to prevent that pinch. So I don't know if it was a surgery gone wrong, because he still had immense amount of pain after,
Interesting.
to where it was like debilitating in certain ways. So can definitely understand that that's frustration as well.
Yeah.
But again, to tie it back to where it went
Mhm.
and to the extreme it went,
Mm-hmm.
there's got to be some more
I don't know. You gotta think a
background.
certain
or-
type of way if like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where you're gonna go with it. Because obviously you and I mean, I'll openly say it, like fuck insurance companies, like or pharmaceutical companies. I don't care. I'll say that out loud. Like I feel like we get screwed, but I'm not
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
ever go to that
No,
extent to
right.
prove my point.
Right.
Or-
Yeah, the healthcare system in America sucks.
yeah. Period. Everybody knows that.
100%.
Like the 42nd, like worst in the world.
Terrible.
Terrible, but the number one most costly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I'm not gonna.
So that, like, now we got to figure out what happened in those 6 months, because I think those are going to be the defining moments of
Oh, right.
what shifted in his mind, what changed to lead him down into getting to the point where he got to.
I agree, and see, all of those things is kind of like why I'm not totally in line with. This is for sure him. And I'm being completely honest. So all they've talked about. So you say like leading up to the 6 months.
Yeah.
I go back to. Okay, so if he had it premeditated, why would he carry the notebook on him? When he's obviously doesn't want to get, I would assume he won't want to get caught.
Yeah, you would assume.
Right?
Right.
Like, you look at it, he had the ghost weapon, which being the 3D printed pistol
Mhm.
and suppressor on him still.
Mm-hmm.
The fake IDs on him still. Notebook or journal of
Yeah.
some sort
Yeah.
of all of his premeditated acts.
Yeah.
Like, fuck no. What are you talking about?
Yep.
Are you? Yeah, I don't know. But the weird part is they say that was on him, but they found his backpack in.
Central Park.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Full of Monopoly money.
Exactly. I don't know.
Which could be a deeper thought or a background in his eyes,
Did he do?
being
all-
that the healthcare system is a monopoly,
Right.
right? And just is cashing out on everyone.
Sure. I guess my thing. He pre-planned his exfil plan so well. Why would he go through that extent for an exfil plan if he was gonna get caught or knew he was gonna get caught, and kept those things on him? Why would you go through all that effort
Right.
to see how far you could get,
Yeah.
or what?
But even then, you're not going to carry. You're going to get rid of the pistol ASAP.
You're gonna get rid of everything.
He,
Everything.
yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be wearing the same fucking underwear I
No.
was the day I did it.
No.
Yeah, that's what I find very weird.
If he didn't want to get caught.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you planned on getting caught,
sure.
then it's like, why go through all this just to get caught?
Yeah. Why pre-plan it so well?
Yeah.
It might be easier for him because he's so intelligent.
Reportedly, too, he had that YouTube channel, right? That's now taken down,
Yep.
where it said, coming soon or whatever, and it had this countdown.
December 11th or something,
Yeah.
which was
More coming soon.
today.
Well, the first one was, if you're seeing this, I've already been arrested. Dropped. And then it said at the very end, there was this countdown. It was like, more coming soon or whatever. And then December 11th, which was today.
Yeah.
But it was the YouTube channel was taken down prior to that. So
Do you think he was going to commit another act?
I think it's just going to be more information.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. When you say that, I did post something. I told you this. I posted something on Threads just to see what people's reactions would be.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of going into like what we're talking about now, like doesn't match up. Why this? Why that? All I said was drop your Luigi Mangione conspiracy theories here.
Yeah.
Another thing was the eyebrows don't match, is what people said. And then, of course, conspiracy theorists. He's one man of a larger movement, and more messages are on the way. So that's what I thought of when you said that. Luigi Mangione hired a shooter and one other stand-in. Luigi took the fall in Altoona, I predict. While his trial is going, there's going to be another hit. That was another one.
Well, I saw, too, a video today where Brian Thompson's photo was posted, and it said wanted.
Yep.
But there was 2 other CEOs of other healthcare companies as well posted.
There was one, and one of them basically said, like, more small claim. One of the other CEOs came out and said more of the small claims should be denied.
Mm.
And then that, like, pissed people off. And then people researched his salary. It's like $23 million a year.
Of course.
Like, oh, yeah. Really? Because you got nothing to worry about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, touching on that, you said, too, that was there claimed to be some potential insider trading, so to
with
speak.
Brian Thompson?
That he just cashed out on another $8 million or something right before.
6 or 8 million or something like that before an investigation opened up. So obviously he was aware of something, but insider trading.
Things happening, or coming.
Yeah, which. Another theory: he got caught intentionally so us Americans would feel empowered. He sacrificed his life so we could see someone care about our pain, even if the rich guy will be replaced.
Hmm.
Which is the other side of the coin. He is being, like, viewed by a lot as a martyr, right?
Totally.
Standing up for the little guy.
Yep. Standing up to big corporate America.
Yep.
People think he's a hero or view him as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, the steal from the rich, give to the poor kind of mentality. It seems like.
Because it's believed at the top is corrupt.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we kind of touched on the digital footprints, social media, online presence, right? Talked about X, talked about the YouTube. And then kind of says here to assess how his online behavior may have reflected or influenced his actions. It doesn't sound like he was posting anything publicly, like on like normal social media platforms that would have his family concerned other than him being withdrawn.
Yeah.
Like anything Unabomber related. He was supposedly posting that on like hidden forum, not hidden forums, but
I saw he was a big Reddit guy.
Okay.
And he didn't obviously use his own name,
Yeah.
but whatever page he was using had links to.
If anybody's
Some-
watching this and you know where that is,
some
go ahead and
similar-
drop that in the comments because I want to see it.
Yeah, same.
I'd be very curious to see like what he was posting.
Yeah.
Kind of try to like,
Again, it was alleged that it was him.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can prove that he was the man behind the account,
right.
or it's been proven. I don't know that, but I saw that there was allegations or skepticism that he was the man behind this certain Reddit account that was very active, and
I'd be very curious to see what is posted
yeah,
because you look at it from a different light, right?
totally. Because there's no record of anything in the last 6 months. He was pretty
Right.
much off grid.
Right.
So tracking
Pretty
anything, yeah, pretty much.
So something I do want to get into, the cult of personality, so online fandom and merchandise. So again, people are definitely capitalizing off of this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to start with that.
Well,
It's interesting. Go ahead.
the first thing that I thought of was you knew he was going to blow up on social media.
Oh yeah, did you say you had like 100,000?
Oh, yeah. 100,000 followers he grew, I think, in the overnight or in the first night.
Instagram or something?
Yeah. Comments galore saying you're my hero and thanks for, whatever and all that. And I also saw the jacket he was wearing blew up at Saks Fifth Avenue and sold out.
Fucking.
Which is like, I wouldn't have thought of that.
No.
That, item of clothing.
What, are masks going to get popular too again?
Being
Or
sold
what?
out.
Yeah, like,
But I figured his social media would take off.
I guess. To
In a
that-
weird way. Again,
Oh,
very odd. I think that both of those happen. But in the day and age that we live, social media based.
yep.
Yeah.
With that, like people being for it, right? For what he did, and again, standing up for the little guy and all those
Mhm.
little things taking off. One thing, I guess, on my side, what I want people to be cognizant of, right? So, Brian Thompson dying and being a father and a father of two and a
Mhm.
husband and things like that.
Mhm.
Like everyone's like, not everyone, but a lot of people are like, well, fuck him,
Mhm.
right? He's the CEO, he's the owner. It's just some guy, just some schmuck,
Right.
right?
Like he's the sole person to blame.
Right. What I want to say to people is saying those things and wishing those things and then seeing those things are two very different things.
Mhm.
Like hearing about something is one thing, but if you actually go and watch the video and watch a cold-blooded murder of someone, it'll make your blood run cold. It changes your perspective,
Yeah.
for sure.
Totally.
You're like, oh shit, like that dude just got murdered, like his life is done.
Yep.
It's very, very different, like actually watching it and seeing it through. So, just
And I think in no way, shape, or form do we think that he deserved it.
no, I don't think anybody deserved it.
Right.
No.
And it's sad, obviously, because he left behind two young boys and a wife and
Yeah.
was a human being,
Yeah.
is a human being,
Mhm.
and lived a human life,
Mhm.
just like we all do, but was put in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he deserved it. I'm sure he earned it and got to the point that he was very successful. But again, can't be blamed, the sole person to blame in all this,
No.
just because he was at the top, so to speak.
Right.
Because he's not the one denying the claims. He's not the one probably seeing the paperwork.
No. I guess on the flip side of that, he is the guy overseeing the company that is doing this corruption
Mhm.
and could be the guy to make a change. So obviously he's an extreme example of one worst and best case scenario. So obviously very sorry, very unfortunate. Worst case, like obviously he's no longer here. He was
Mhm.
murdered.
Yeah.
what it did do is instill fear into corporate America. And it's a shining example of how, not murder isn't the way to go about it, but how our system is corrupt, and there should be an intermediate factor that stands up for us getting fucked. Because there's nothing that we can do. We don't have the money to go hire a lawyer and say we're getting fucked by an insurance company.
Yep.
There's nothing that we can do, and the rich just keep getting richer. So from that standpoint, like, people taking a stand, all for that.
Yeah, definitely.
All for that. But celebrating a dude dying, I don't think that's right.
There's certainly different ways to go about it than
Yeah.
cold-blooded murdering someone,
Oh, for sure.
you know?
Well, yeah.
But you feel like we're hopeless, you know,
we
as
are.
to where,
There's
as
nothing
to
that we
where,
can do.
to an extent, you have to take an extreme measure to finally get their attention
Yep.
at some level. Because otherwise, if they're getting away with it, why would they stop?
Yeah. I'm not going to.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to theorize how we would stop it, but I guess, obviously, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
2 cents.
It would have to come from certain laws being put in place and
Right.
caps or whatever as to how much
And
you can capitalize off of
Yep.
people revenue wise, or
And people who aren't lining their pockets, because obviously they don't have our best interests at mind. There's people out there that are fucking suffering, for sure.
big time.
Guess that gets into broader implications: corporate security and public trust. Oof. Exploring the impact of the incident on corporate security measures, and then how these events instill public trust in large institutions, which we just touched on.
Yeah.
I don't trust large institutions, period. Like, again, they don't have our best interests at mind. They don't fucking care. They
Nope.
just want our money.
Yeah, they've all got an agenda,
Mm-hmm.
and the agenda is revenue.
That's it.
Make as much as you can.
Yep.
They don't. Most, I would say, don't care about the people. Don't care about who they're trying to serve or who they're serving,
Yep.
but just trying to suck as much out as they can
Yep.
at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes way outside of just healthcare system.
Yeah.
In this situation, it's healthcare, but
yeah.
I mean, you could look at pretty much probably anything at this point.
Yeah, anything that's large enough.
Oh yeah.
They're just going to capitalize off us. I guess to go back a little bit, what do you say? Do you think that he's the guy? What makes you think that he's not the guy?
As soon as I saw that they caught the guy, I was immediately skeptical, of course. Just because I naturally don't trust things just because they're said.
Yep.
Or stated as a fact.
Yeah.
I would like to get in either more information about it.
You want the proof?
Yeah, I want proof. Cold cut proof. No denying it. Not just stated facts of, oh, this was found.
Yeah.
And this is what he had.
Yeah.
And this is what it said.
Yeah.
And yeah, that could all be planted.
Yep.
That could all be made up. Not saying it is, but
It
it's
could.
very easy to just say, especially with how high profile this was and is,
Yeah.
and being in New York City,
Yep.
they want to get the guy,
Right.
obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to pin it.
They don't want to be made fools.
Exactly.
Made to be fools.
Totally.
New York City police and
That's just, I'm a big documentary guy.
yeah.
I love true stories,
Yeah.
but typically about like the mass murderers and stuff like that. I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
And
behind
a lot of the things are obviously the police academies and
it. Yep.
are corrupt, or they're just wanting to like close the case.
Yeah.
So they don't want to do a lot of probably the front end work to go through all the efforts and finalizing the information and the, you know, to make sure that this is the guy.
Yep.
They're gonna just link the things that they can and then say, we're the heroes, we got him.
That's fair. So you think that there is somebody else?
I would like to see more proof before we just say that he
This
did
is
it.
the dude.
Yeah. You know. I think that was the camera that beeped.
It did. That went rough. Unfortunately, there's still 6 minutes left on that one. But I would say I'm gonna agree with that. I think there needs to be some more matter of fact, like, I don't know. There's just so much shit flying around right now.
And
The whole having everything on him in McDonald's and being recognized out of the blue, like, come on.
with his mask on, being recognized.
That's fucking.
So you're judging this guy off of
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh, I think that's him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that looks like the guy.
Again,
He might look similar to him, but again, I wouldn't have the confidence to be like, holy,
yeah.
that's the guy that.
Again, why would you run in the first place if you're going to keep everything on you? That just blows my fucking mind.
And that much evidence.
All of it. You had all of it on you.
You got everything, supposedly. He had everything.
They didn't say anything about the rounds. If there's any other bullets.
Supposedly today they linked the casings to the gun
Right.
that he had.
So I feel like, evidence-wise, right, he engraved something on those 3 rounds or
Yeah.
casings. I feel like something when it
Deny,
came
defend, depose,
Mhm.
I believe, right?
I would think that they would say, yeah, we have the ghost gun and the remaining rounds, and this was inscribed on them. Right? That would be my, I don't know. That would be the first thing I looked at in his bag. Be like, is there any more encryptions on
Right,
any of the rounds?
right.
I would do.
And they said 3D printed gun.
Yeah. You saw a picture of it.
Yeah, it didn't look like a 3D printed gun.
No, when I saw it, didn't look like it either.
So that was a little skeptical to me.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's a lot that I'm weary of.
I would agree.
Again, just would like more evidence and like clear-cut evidence, not just, oh, like the police saying this is what we found or this is what he said or this is what he had.
100%.
Where's the photos of the evidence? Where's the photos of the journal? Where's the photos of the things that you supposedly found on him? Notes, all the things. We haven't seen anything. We just hear about it.
Yeah. Hi.
That's just
That
how
one died.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I think it's fucking, I don't know.
I think DNA would be a little bit better. Supposedly they linked his DNA to the wrapper that from Starbucks, the kind bar he bought,
Yeah.
and the water bottle.
Yeah.
But even that he can falsify.
Even if they said something about fingerprints, they said that the fingerprints were smudged on the bottle. So, I'm weird of that one too. Now I think they're just throwing shit at the wall, like, yeah,
They're trying to legitimize it.
just build your case.
Yeah, in a way, I think. And that's just my natural skepticism. That's where I go naturally until I get enough evidence where I can confidently say, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
he's probably the guy. You look at the eyebrows. I was looking at the eyebrows today.
I know.
Yeah. This guy's eyebrows.
I walked
Mangione.
and he walked into his office and he has like side-by-side pictures. Like, nah, it's not him.
Mangione's eyebrows are the thickest, darkest, hairiest eyebrows I've seen ever.
Italian would.
But still.
And he's almost got a unibrow.
Yeah.
You look at the pictures of the guy, supposedly from the security camera at the hostel or wherever he stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be the angle. It could be the quality of the photos. But,
He's like, nah.
I mean, they seem farther apart. Mangione's are damn near touching.
They look like caterpillars.
They're so thick and defined.
They do. They look like hairy ass caterpillars.
I-
The facial recognition piece. You were saying mole. I didn't notice any of the moles. Now I'm gonna look at the pictures.
Like I said, the first thing that I go to are things that obviously you can Photoshop or whatever, but are a little bit harder to cover up.
Sure.
Initially, you probably don't think of right away. So I
Yeah.
went to like facial characteristics and comparing the two of Mangione, the alleged killer, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
and the photos of
So you're saying these two?
the guy in the. So he's got the much more defined one on the right, which is darker and shows up in much more pictures.
Yeah, and then you're saying the
And
one
then he's got one almost identical on the left side, his left side.
So I'll say in the picture right next to that, you don't have it.
Right. Now, I don't know if that's a thing that can develop over time. They get darker, whatever, so to speak. But in his one of his photos of where he's getting arrested, it is, I mean, very prominent.
Right. I guess.
But you don't, again, could be the quality of the security footage, the captions or the captures that they took, screenshots, whatever you want to call them, that they don't show up. Or it could be the angle.
I don't know. Now that you're saying that, I'm definitely noticing those.
But to me, those characteristics stood out
Yeah.
to me right away, along with the eyebrows.
That's very interesting now that I'm looking at it.
And we even touched on facial structure, right? It could be the angle as well.
Yeah.
But chin looked a little bit more pointed in the guy in the footage. Mangione's looked maybe a little bit more rounded.
Yeah.
But again, those are the things that you can't hide as much as you could hide some of the other evidence or things that are found, so to speak, that links him to the Manhattan shooting. Again, my natural skepticism, that's where it goes. I need evidence, I need proof. Just people saying that this is found or this is the facts to me is never good enough.
No, that's not. I'd be curious to see what his family does come out and say soon. Because all they've done is release statements saying they're in shock and disbelief and whatever else. But
I think which would be natural regardless.
yeah,
Especially if he went off grid for the extended period of time he did.
yeah,
They never heard from him, whatever. But I think what might be more telling is how he acts. What did he yell when he was getting arrested?
Oh, that's what I texted you.
You know? Oh, yeah.
Someone broke that down. What did I say?
Like, if he was innocent, he would act a certain way, I would think.
Yeah.
Right? And if he knows he's guilty and his backlash, he might act a different way.
Right. So when he was getting taken out of the cop car today and brought, I don't know if he's getting brought into the courtroom, jail, or what, but somebody broke down what he said, or yelled, because it's hard to hear him, but supposedly he said, "It's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people. It's lived experience."
Mm-hmm. Which then is like, what
Again,
is he exactly talking about?
What do you perceive it as?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. In your text, it said it's. I saw another one that said they or they're.
They're completely out of touch.
Yeah.
They're completely out of touch with it, and it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people.
Yeah. Which could be then
Which would be like
big wigs at these.
don't understand the struggle of every day. Like,
Yep, because they don't have the similar struggles.
Yeah.
They're well off. They're making a ton of money off of the people.
that are struggling.
They're the ones benefiting.
Yeah, and everybody needs it. It's law.
It makes a little bit more sense than it's, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that is what's fucked up. It's illegal to not have insurance, but it's legal to get fucked by insurance. My 2 cents.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously more is going to come out daily as this goes on.
Right.
But from where it stands right now, that's the extent of what we know, at least. Or
That's the extent of what we know. I guess for anybody that
or
watches this.
what is being told.
Yeah. For anybody that watches this, would be curious to hear what you have to say, what you've seen, what you've read, what you've heard, what, I don't know, theories you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all very...
Thoughts, perception,
Yeah.
conspiracy theories,
All of it. We're open to all of it.
extra things we didn't talk about,
Yeah.
didn't touch on.
Yeah, and feel free to correct us on the shit we messed up.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff we missed or
We're no experts.
misspoke on.
Multiple things.
But
It's still fun to talk about. But wanted to get this one out, and then obviously thanks for swinging over and hopping on.
yeah, of course, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Different.
Yeah.
Different.
Thanks for having me on. First guest, I'm honored.
Yeah, you can be on more. Just gotta
Whenever.
find our topics.
That's true.
Yeah. But
Well,
thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, as they would say. We gotta cut in Abigail saying like and subscribe.
oh, do you?
We're going to.
That's cool.
But
There we go. Cool.
thanks.
Yeah,
See ya.
thanks.
Talk to you later. Adios.
Toodles.